Imagine a little girl in post-war America sitting on her bedroom floor, carefully dressing up a paper doll. She gives the doll a name, a career, and a dream life far beyond her own. To most, it's just a child's game, but to one observant mother, it's a glimpse into something bigger. The power of imagination and the untapped potential of young girls to dream not only of being mothers, but of being anything they want. That mother was Ruth Handler, and the doll that would rise from that moment would go on to become one of the most iconic figures of the 20th century, Barbie. Ruth Handler's story begins in Denver, Colorado on November 4th in 1916. She was the youngest of 10 children born to Polish Jewish immigrants. From a young age, Ruth had a sharp eye for opportunity and a restless energy to create. She moved to Los Angeles as a young woman, where she met and married Elliot Handler, an artist and designer. Together, they shared not only love but an entrepreneurial spirit that would soon change the world. In 1945, Ruth and Elliot started a small business in their garage, making picture frames. It wasn't glamorous, but Ruth saw potential. She noticed that the scraps of plastic left over from frame production could be turned into toy furniture. They began selling those tiny pieces to toy stores, and they sold surprisingly well. That's when Ruth had her first major insight. Toys were more than child's play. They were a business, and a booming one. The Handlers partnered with a friend named Harold Matson, and from their combined names, Mattel was born. The early years of Mattel were tough. The toy market was competitive, and resources were scarce. But Ruth had an instinct for marketing and a willingness to take risks. In 1955, Mattel made a bold move. It became the first toy company to advertise directly to children through television. Their sponsorship of the Mickey Mouse Club introduced Mattel toys to millions of households, and sales exploded. But Ruth's real breakthrough was still ahead. One day in the 1950s, Ruth noticed her daughter Barbara playing with paper dolls. The girl wasn't pretending to be a baby's mother, she was pretending to be an adult, a career woman, a fashion model, someone independent. That moment struck Ruth deeply. At the time, the only dolls available for girls were baby dolls, toys that reinforced motherhood as their primary role. Ruth saw a gap, and in that gap, a revolution. On a trip to Switzerland in 1956, Ruth found inspiration in an unlikely place, a German doll named Bild Lilly. It was a novelty item based on a comic strip character, a fashionable blonde woman intended for adults, not children. But Ruth saw what others didn't. She brought a few Lilly dolls back to America, studied their construction, and envisioned something entirely new, a stylish, aspirational doll for young girls. 3 years later, at the 1959 New York Toy Fair, Ruth unveiled the first Barbie doll, named after her daughter, Barbara. Barbie was unlike anything the world had seen. She was tall, slender, and glamorous, wearing a black and white striped swimsuit and a confident smile. She was not a mother or a baby, she was an adult, a woman with possibilities. Retailers were skeptical, assuming mothers would never buy such a doll for their daughters. But when Barbie hit the shelves, she became an instant phenomenon. Over $300,000 were sold in the first year alone. Barbie quickly grew beyond a toy. She became a mirror of society's dreams and contradictions. Ruth Handler understood marketing better than anyone. She ensured Barbie evolved with the times. Astronaut Barbie in the 1960s, Surgeon Barbie in the 1970s, and CEO Barbie in the 1980s. Ruth believed that Barbie's power lay in showing girls that they could be anything, long before that idea became a slogan. Yet for all her vision, Ruth's life was not without controversy or hardship. Critics accused Barbie of promoting unrealistic beauty standards, and feminist thinkers debated whether she empowered or constrained girls. Ruth, however, remained steadfast. "My whole philosophy of Barbie," she once said, was that through the doll, the little girl could be anything she wanted to be. For her, Barbie wasn't about looks. She was about limitless imagination. In the 1970s, Ruth faced her biggest personal battle. She was diagnosed with breast cancer and underwent a mastectomy, but even this challenge became another chapter in her story of resilience. Frustrated by the poor quality of breast prosthetics available at the time, she founded a new company called Nearly Me. Her goal was simple yet profound: to give women back their confidence after surgery. The company's products helped countless survivors feel whole again. Ruth once again turned personal pain into purpose. However, the decade brought darker turns too. Mattel, under Ruth's leadership, grew into one of the largest toy companies in the world. But by the mid-1970s, it was under investigation for financial mismanagement. The company had overstated profits, and Ruth was forced to resign as president in 1975. It was a devastating moment, being ousted from the very company she had built. But even then, she refused to see herself as defeated. She continued to advocate for women in business, giving lectures about creativity, resilience, and self-belief. In later years, Ruth watched Barbie evolve, sometimes in ways she had imagined, sometimes in ways she never could have. The doll became a cultural lightning rod, loved by some, criticized by others, yet never ignored. By the time of Ruth Handler's death in 2002, over 1 billion Barbie dolls had been sold worldwide. What started as a mother's observation had become a global empire, influencing generations and reflecting the shifting ideals of womanhood. Ruth Handler's life was not perfect, but it was undeniably extraordinary. She was a woman who dared to think differently in an era when few women ran companies. She was a pioneer of marketing, a master of reinvention, and a visionary who saw that toys could shape identity and aspiration. Her story is a testament to creativity born from curiosity and to courage born from adversity. When the Barbie movie was released decades after her death, millions rediscovered the world Ruth had built. Behind the pink dream houses and fashion shows was a deeper truth, the belief that imagination is a form of freedom, and that's what Ruth Handler gave to the world. A reminder that even a doll can hold a dream, and that sometimes the smallest idea can inspire the biggest changes. From a garage in Los Angeles to the shelves of toy stores in every corner of the globe, Ruth Handler's vision continues to echo in pop culture and business alike. She didn't just create a toy, she created a symbol, one that has endured for more than 60 years. Barbie may be plastic, but Ruth Handler's legacy is anything but. It's real, resilient, and timeless, a story of how one woman's imagination reshaped the world's idea of what it means to dream.